In case you missed it, the news wrote, YNW Melly's lawyers submitted their last paperwork for Melly to be released on a bond until trial in September. This time they have full confidence Melly will be released from jail, as Melly's mother would give an update on his release.
We just still praying. I know I said I would give, I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know right now we're waiting. So basically, the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute, or it could come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Oh, Tessa, stop. I've been crying too. It's been a long time coming, you know.
As Melly's lawyers handed in his new bond release package, you tell me if it's worth his release. As lawyers wrote, Melly's legal team proposed posting an unspecified bond that would be paid by his record label 300 Entertainment. If granted a bond, they assured the judge that Melly would be on house arrest, wear an ankle monitor, as well as hire round-the-clock security to keep tabs on him. It was so good that a rapper wrote, "That boy Melly's coming home. I feel it." However, it's the physical evidence they added to the bond release package that will get him free, such like the interview that Melly's mother did explaining that he isn't being treated like a human inside a jail, which is illegal.
When you saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
They would then bring up evidence from the original trial that this new judge wasn't there for, showing proof that when the feds say that Melly committed the crime inside of the Jeep, it is false, as there's GPS evidence proving that YNW Melly was seen sprinting down the street and hiding into a bush as his cell phone was being tracked by AT&T in his jeans pocket.
That would be the part where he's saying that someone just shot the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah. He's like, yeah, there's some. I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're.
Then, to back up the claims of it being an actual drive-by, in the original trial it was confirmed there was never a firearm even found, making the claim of it being a drive-by very likely, as the guilty party drove off with the firearm used.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what firearm was used.
Okay.
With the release package looking so good, the prosecutors even got afraid that it would be accepted. This is when they did something concerning, as the news wrote, a no communication order has been filed in the YNW Melly trial. This order makes Melly and Bortlen completely separate. No talking, no lawyers, just silence, as the prosecutors are forcing Bortlen to snitch by trying Melly and Bortlen together in the next trial, meaning they'll be sitting next to each other while evidence is shown of them doing the crime.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It's just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking the penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
This was the mistake that the prosecutors made on the first trial, not having them both sitting beside each other. As if Bortlen knows that he didn't commit this crime, he won't physically be able to sit there and take life in prison to the chin, making it very likely he'll then point the finger against Melly, as the prosecutors, they're doing it for one specific reason. You may remember in the original trial, YNW Melly's lawyers were trying to pin the crime against Bortlen.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, a car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
As Melly's own lawyer was revealing that it was Bortlen that was lying to the feds and that he was the one with powder residue on his hands. They even brought up a forensic scientist that covered the passings to go into further detail about Bortlen having the powder residue.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of powder residue and two component particles. And the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of powder residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was powder residue present on the hands.
As what you didn't know is that Bortlen didn't like this at all. This is why when Melly's mistrial was granted, a report shared, YNW Bortlen tweets a mysterious message on the same day Melly's mistrial was declared. The tweet reads, "Mind games don't work on people like me," alongside a handshake emoji as if he's accepting a deal. Now this is where it gets very scary. If Bortlen is sitting alongside Melly in the trial, the feds can then also use Bortlen's interrogation on the night of the crime, where he was caught lying to police trying to cover up for his best friend Melly.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Man, I was playing music, getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy, almost home, you know what I'm saying? And like, just out of nowhere, like, I just heard, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car,
Hey, well,
and I almost crashed the car.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75.
Expressway. Yeah.
Then you took 75 south?
It's clear to officers that YNW Bortlen's story isn't adding up to anything. Mind you, this is on the night of the crime. Bortlen is sitting trying to act confident about his story, trying to make it seem realistic so then they don't get caught up in a lie. However, this didn't work at all, where YNW Bortlen would be caught in that lie.
Here's the hard part where we're having a hard time to understand, is that we shut down that entire area and we had officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as 1 shell casing. They didn't find 1 piece of glass. Nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's the class.
I mean, for whatever reason, your 2 friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These my like,
these your 2, I'm assuming close friends.
Yeah, we got.
And you're doing them an in-service by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, son. I don't like. How? What do you want?
How do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
This is where the interrogation would go south. YNW Bortlen begins getting angry as the officers aren't fully believing his story about the crime, and you can tell he's beginning to sweat because all he wants to do is get out of the interrogation room.
I told y'all the story, and that's it, bro. I don't even talk about it anymore. Like, cause I told y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Okay, just so you know, all right, because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. And we're not trying to piss you off. is
I know,
the thing is we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, the easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
Commonly, when the criminal in the interrogation hits this point of the interview, refusing to talk and not even wanting to discuss further, it's then the officer's job to reset the playing field to try to gain the trust back. The goal is to continue asking questions, hoping either the criminal will mix up his story and share different details than what he originally said, or just accidentally says too much, as the officer would then reset the conversation. The police officer would want details of the in-the-moment actions made during the drive-by. How was he driving? Did he crash into anything or drop any items?
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
With time running out in their allowed interrogation time, the officer would then flat out ask, if you know who did this, would you tell me?
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS, okay? And it's a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay? You may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of it. I wouldn't want to be.
Now, YNW Bortlen doesn't give a firm yes or no. He doesn't use his voice at all, which is very important. Instead, he is shaking his head no. This is because if YNW Melly did do the crime, Bortlen would obviously know that. So him saying no to the officer could have caused his voice to crack or come out in a different pitch than used in the rest of the interview. That would be due to him lying. This would then be an obvious indicator to police that he knows a lot more than what he's sharing. But it gets even worse from here. Did you know the judge created a deal with Melly's ex-girlfriend? Her name is Mariah Hamilton. She was hiding out of the United States since before Melly's original trial. She was supposed to testify against Melly, but she never showed up. She was then wanted by police for the last few years.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
As the judge made a deal with Mariah, saying if you agree to testify against Melly, you're free to go out of jail. She accepted it instantly, making it the worst news imaginable for YNW Melly. Once released, she wrote on Facebook, "Into my village, thank you to my village. I love you all so much. God's plan, not mine." Why it's so scary is because they found disturbing evidence in Mariah's iCloud account relating to YNW Melly forcing her to not testify in trial. This is known as witness tampering. This alone carries a life sentence in prison, regardless if Melly actually took out Sack Chaser and Juvie.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
The witness tampering case would also be separate from his existing case of Sack Chaser and Juvie's passing. Due to Melly already having a mistrial in the original, there is an actual chance Melly is found not guilty of Sack Chaser and Juvie passing away, but depending on what evidence is on Mariah's iCloud account, he could be found guilty of witness tampering and still go to prison for life. Due to him witness tampering, the jail phones have been cut off from YNW Melly. He hasn't been allowed to use one for several months. It even got so bad, Jamie King did an interview exposing the county jail for not allowing him to use a phone.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
But if the evidence is true that YNW Melly was using a jail phone to commit witness tampering, that's why they've cut him off from usage. The scariest part is they definitely have the evidence stored away. They wouldn't just keep him off of the jail phone if it was a hunch that he was committing this crime. This would then result in a major lawsuit that the jail wouldn't risk doing. However, the judge was still willing to release Melly from jail, inviting him to the courtroom to speak on the specifics.
Good morning. This is on State of Florida versus Jamel Demons. Present is Mr. Demons. Mr. Demons, can you hear us?
The judge then gave the prosecutors one final chance to give evidence on why he should stay in jail. You tell me how it looks for him, as they started evidence with Melly's phone. He sent a text message hours after the crime admitting to it.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
But also on Melly's phone was a saved video from somebody's Facebook Live, where it shows Melly and Bortlen's reaction to the crime only 6 hours after it was committed.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Showing not even an ounce of sadness for the passing of their two best friends, but a new interesting piece of evidence would then come out from a rogue O-Block member. He revealed Melly's motive to commit the crime was Melly not wanting to share finances with the other YNW members.
Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walter Bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
This was supposed to be a secret that Melly told King Vaughn. Sadly, Vaughn shared it with O-Block members before passing away, as the name YNW is also a registered business LLC. Melly and Bortlen would perform concerts, release music, sell merch, all in exchange for money. That money would then be funneled through the YNW business bank account, where Sack Chaser and Juvie wanted an equal split just because they're in YNW, even though they did zero work for it. However, that same money in the YNW bank account also seems to be now running low. It was announced YNW Melly's mom trends after she announces she started a fans account while he stands trial. This would take the internet by storm. Fans believing Melly's going broke, DJ Academics would end up saying this.
So YNW Melly's mom has announced that she's going to be starting her own. And I got to be honest with y'all, man, like, this is perplexing. The reason why it's perplexing is because I can't understand why she's doing this. Your son is fighting for his life. how much, you know, there's certain mothers in hip hop, and you probably could name a few, I won't name all of them, that I feel like their son became stars, but they also wanted to be stars as well. Blueface's mom is one of them. The situation between Melly's mom and Melly, I always thought was interesting, but I never thought she'd be doing this. If you're wondering if she's doing this for money, this can't be a money play. Like, no way, no how.
While DJ Academics claims that he is not going broke, social media would disagree, bringing up a No Jumper interview from 2 years ago with Adam, B-Slime, and Jamie King, where Adam would ask YNW Melly's mother he imagines he has spent a lot of money on jail. While her sitting back and laughing, his own brother B-Slime would call Melly out for dumb purchases. But do you think YNW Melly's going broke?
I would assume
But it's still,
that he spent a lot of money on lawyers. Like an amount that would probably...
That kid spent a lot of money on a lot of things that shouldn't have been spent on.
Really? Like what else?
And cars, jewelry. And he's not even out to wear the jewelry. I'm like, why are you buying jewelry and you're not here to wear the jewelry?
No, definitely lawyers are probably the best thing you can spend
That's
money
what
on.
bro. But he's good with lawyers, bro. Like, money ain't an issue for lawyers. Like, he's fine, but it's just like, there was a lot of stuff that should have went to lawyers that he didn't spend on lawyers. And I'm like, bro. And now it's like he don't even want the chain no more.